Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DBCom, and today I am bringing you a little video about Star Realms. Now, I'm hoping this is going to be the first video in a larger series of actual gameplay footage, but for the first video, I just wanted to bring you a little bit of information about Star Realms itself, just so you can appreciate the following and the impact that it has had. So, the first thing to know about Star Realms is that it is a deck-building card game, and it started out as a physical copy of the game. An actual card game that you sat down and played with your friends on the table. Now, the game actually had enough of a following, and it was such a success, that the developers actually decided to put out an app for it. Now, this came out on iOS and the Android App Store. They were also planning to release it on PC. It did just take a little bit longer to get it out. I think there's a little bit more finished touches they had to apply to it to really get the app to shine on the PC market. However, they have now got it released. The beauty of this, though, is that the app itself was actually free. It gave you access to the gameplay completely free. And there's just the option to purchase the full content, which just unlocked a few more things. For instance, online play against chosen opponents, some more campaign factors, things like that. Then there were also expansion packs that you could purchase as well. Of course, like any video game these days, DLC, am I right? So they put that all together. The really great thing about this, though, is that you get an account for Star Realms, and the purchases you make transferred across all your devices. You didn't have to buy it 10 times to play on 10 devices. Such is the beauty of this digital age and cloud computing. But the really interesting thing, though, is they've since released Star Realms on Steam. This only came out just recently, actually. But the beauty of this, though, is that all the purchases you made on the App Store, on your mobile devices, or even on the PC version before you played it on Steam, actually translate over to your account on Steam, because you can still sign in with your Star Realms account on the Steam version. So your purchases do back up. There are some technical glitches with it right now, one of them being that Steam of course doesn't recognize that you've purchased it, so it still tells you to buy the DLC for it, even though you already have it. Another glitch is that if you buy the DLC through Steam, right now it still doesn't activate on the mobile devices. I believe they're working on fixes to this, but please don't quote me on this. So this game is really accessible to everybody just because of that, and it's a great free-to-play game. And of course, now this whole transferring saves and purchases across really fits into the platform of the game when they originally developed it, because the game actually comes out in just a small card box. I think it's a little over 100 cards in a box, and it's enough for 2 people to play the game. This is great because that one little box can fit in a jacket pocket, or in a bag in your backpack, or in your purse, or anything like that. And you can carry it around anywhere you go. So it's great. Now the app itself, as you can see here, there's a number of different features for how you want to play, including things like play online, the campaign play, versus AI, pass and play, and how to play. So play online, you actually can go and play against random opponents in a laddered environment, which means as you get better, you gain ranks, and you can actually prove your skills against the world. Next up is campaign play. Now this is actually a series of different challenges and different battles throughout a campaign and a story. It's very interesting. There's 6 chapters right now, and I believe each chapter has, 6 to 10 different fights that you do, all usually ending with a boss battle at the end. Versus AI, that's just your kind of standard gameplay. You play against the AI in 3 different difficulty settings, and you can choose to use expansion content if you have it. If you don't have it, then you don't have to worry about it. There's pass and play, which means multiple people can play on the same device, which is great. It really fits the philosophy of this game. And then finally, there's the how to play, so you can get a bit more of an in-depth tutorial about how to play the game than I may be able to give you, especially using this app. Now, there's a few other buttons kind of floating around the screen. As you can also see, the majority of the screen is actually taken up by a little advertising thing that kind of talks about some of the information, as well as advertising their other game called Epic, also known as the Epic card game. Now, both Epic and Star Realms were actually put out by a company called White Wizard Games, and this actually is all developed by Magic players. So there may be some things that are actually going to kind of feel familiar, like the colors and what they do. But it also led to some great game development. Now, just for the buttons on the screen, you'll see at the top left is the power button. That's what lets you quit the game. To the top right is your settings menu. Very, very basic settings menu, including just checkboxes for whether you want sound, music, faster animation, so the gameplay just plays a little bit quicker. Disable Starfield rotation, which is just something to kind of help ease up your computer. So if your computer's running a little slow, that can be one way to help deal with it, is the Starfield rotation. The next obvious one is the graphics quality. You can see there's a fairly good list here, everywhere from fastest to fantastic. One thing to note is as you change graphics quality settings, you may be required to restart the game briefly. So just something to keep in mind. Now the other option you have is your resolution, and you can see mine goes all the way from a 320 by 200 resolution all the way up to 1920 by 1080, which is actually the setting I'm using right now to be able to play the game in high definition. You're also going to see a checkbox for full screen mode. Now, full screen mode and your resolution changes do not require you to reset the app. It is just changing the graphics quality. You're also going to see some kind of hard to see buttons down here for Contact Us in case you want to get a hold of White Wizard Games, and the credits for the game, just so you can see who put the work into the game. Now on the bottom of the screen you're going to see the Restore Purchases link, which for when you've made those purchases for your app, you can click this button to restore them. Now you do have to sign in with your account to the online play first, but that's a very minor step. And then finally at the bottom you're also going to see the version numbers. You can see we're actually at version 3 of the app right now. Now that's just going to be a quick overview. On the next video, I actually hope to show you guys some gameplay and get you playing the game, and I will explain the game as I play through it. But for right now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.